How do it, everyone? It's the ACV and Auto Electrics and it's been a bit of a hard one today to go outside and do some work, and I'm going to put my hands up. I've not been feeling too well, so I've went out and done a wee bit of work this morning, but I've come back home, trying to get the head down and then get stuck into some paperwork. I know there's some of you guys out there waiting on quotes from me, so I'm going to have a cup of tea, wee cup of tea here, and then I'm going to sit and do your quotes, and I'll text you this evening with your quotes. It was just a wee one there, just give us your feedback if you don't mind. Obviously I rely on social media quite heavily actually. I do all my advertising through social media. I personally think it's a fantastic tool if you use it properly. I have had feedback from people saying it's not professional, you don't look professional when you do it. You're walking about in your kitchen, you're using swear words like shit and things like that. Or I've had people say, no, I like your social media stuff you do. Personally, I wouldn't use it, but it works for you. And then I've got some people that say, no, I like your social media because you're keeping it a wee bit more real and a wee bit more honest. Now, it's difficult then because I would love to show you some of the products and some of the things that I do in a professional manner, i.e. have a drone flying around and watching me, fitting something with a wee bit of music in the background. I don't know, a couple of dancing girls and dancing guys, or I don't know, something that's a wee bit more interesting than what I try and do. It's a bit boring, if I'm honest, to try and make an inverter look exciting. It ain't exciting, unless you're a stalker or you are actually wanting to buy an inverter. You're probably not going to watch a video about inverters. But it's just showcasing a wee bit of the work that I do. I do my work different than other guys who are out there, and there are other guys who are out there, and I've said this before, they're good guys as well. Yes, they're competition. Of course they're competition, they're doing the same job as me, but some of them do it a different way. Some of them do it better. Some of them are more expensive, and some of them are cheaper. There's plenty of work out there for everybody, so I'm certainly not the guy who's going to be going around trying to nick everybody else's work off them. Busy enough as it is. So yeah, just a wee bit of a yarn about the social media side and why I use it and why you might say, flip sake, how's your mom putting another video up, where's your mom? And then there would be other companies there who probably don't do that at all, but they're still busy. Those guys as well have probably been going a long time and they've got a good reputation and it's good word of mouth and all. That's obviously something that I'm still working on. It actually occurred to me, I was going through some of the old social media stuff there last night, and I was looking for the first post of the first job that I did, and it was in the end of January 2020. So I've not even been going for 2 years. And that's frightening because I feel like I've been going for about flipping 10 years doing this. I certainly feel like I've aged that much. Some of the pressure and the problems I've been getting recently has been taking a toll on me, if I'm completely honest. So for that reason, I'm cutting that work off. I don't need it, I don't want it, and I ain't going to be doing it again. If it's not right for me, I ain't doing it. It's a good position to be in. Because when I was looking at those posts from the social media less than 2 years ago, it was about 19 months ago, the first one. The actual first job I did was my brother's flipping trailer, put some lights on the back of it, but then my next job I got was Stephen Moore up at KBO Hire, who was up there working for him last week actually. So that's a fantastic example. Stephen found me on social media, and Stephen's had me up there a few times. He doesn't have me there all the time because Stephen's got his own guys, but he's had me up to help him out. And then he got me working on that 200-ton crane last week. Stephen was the first man that had me out, and he actually gave me one of the most complicated jobs, and it was building a DAF wiring harness for the ABS system. Built it from scratch. If you remember, if any of you have followed me from back then, or even if you go back, you'll see that I made a wiring harness. I took a wiring harness off the DAF, the full harness, laid it out on the ground, and we made him a brand new one. That was something I used to do when I worked for DAF over in England. I used to work for DAF in England. So what I'm going to do again, like I said, I'm going to try and keep the social media going. I like doing it. I feel comfortable doing it. I feel a wee bit more confident doing it now. Again, it's just trying to make it interesting, because unless you're interested in trucks, and unless you're interested in listening to somebody sitting talking in their kitchen, it's not very interesting. Somebody had actually contacted me on my YouTube channel there and said, can you show us a video the next time when you're actually installing a light bar on a roof of a Volvo? I'd love to be able to do that. There's a few reasons that I might not be able to do that. It's because it's flipping dangerous standing on the roof of a Volvo trying to fit a light bar and hold the phone with another hand, unless I've got somebody up there doing it with me. And like I say, I'm trying to keep it real. I'm not going to have a flipping film team following me about doing all that sort of stuff. And secondly, if I show you how to fit a light bar on the roof of a Volvo, you're going to fit it yourself. So obviously I'm joking. If somebody needed a hand or wanted to know how to do something like that, there's guys out there who's messaged me before, and I'll tell you how I do it, and it's up to you whether or not you want to go and do it that way. I'm certainly not going to come and draw it out for you and tell you where to put a nut and bolt. If you need a bit of advice on something like that, I'll be happy to give you that bit of advice. So I'm going to carry on with the YouTube stuff. It's better if I do it while I'm out on the job and you can see a truck and there's somebody there who's maybe he's a wee bit excited about Scania and he's a wee Scania man and he wants to see a Scania and somebody working on a Scania. So I'll take as much footage of a Scania as I can, or a Volvo, or whatever, or a DAF. I've worked on trucks for... How long have I worked on trucks? 20 years. 20 years on and off I've worked on trucks. I've been on them, then I've left the job altogether because it was doing my head in. And then I went back to work for a company in Burnley in Lancashire, a DAF, not a dealership but a DAF garage. I'm thinking of what you will, the work standard that they set in that garage, I have yet to see it anywhere else. It was a company called Lynch Trucks. Now, I didn't leave, and I'm going to be honest, like I said, I like to try and be as honest as I can. I didn't leave Lynch Trucks on good terms. Clash of personalities with your storeman, which is always the case, lads. If you work in a place, your storeman is generally the biggest arsehole there is there. But this guy really was a problem for me. So, unfortunately, I left. However, I am eternally grateful for the experience that they gave me. In particular, it was the owner's son who was my foreman, and that boy was one of the best mechanics and the best auto sparks I think I've ever known. He was brilliant. It was the standard of the fella's work really set the mark. And when I was doing the work for him, it was so frustrating because I would spend so much time trying to get the work right, and then you're almost like going to get him and go, look what I've done, look what I've done. And he'd be like, well, maybe you want to do it that way. And you just sometimes you feel you're just not expecting that. You'll get him over it, you'll look at it, and you know he's going to tell you to redo it again. It's when it got to that stage, after a year or two, he didn't even need to come and look at the work because he knew it was right. And we were building wiring harnesses from scratch, we were changing cabs over, and he was leaving you to do that work. And I have to say, looking back, if I was to try and do that work today, I don't know if I could do it, if I'm honest. You need to be on it. But I've never ever mentioned that company since I started doing this job. And I don't know if they use social media that much. But credit where it's due, it was a company called Lynch Trucks in Accrington, near Burnley. And the boy there, he was the supervisor at the time. I'm not too sure if he even runs the place now. He practically runs it. The guy worked there like 70 hours a week. They were very good. Very good. So yes, they sort of give me the basis to sort of come back into this job again, because when I left there, I went to work for another company called Crossland Congress, and again, the work that they put out was just on another level. They were making tankers, trailers, all that sort of stuff from scratch. Their welders were brilliant, their painters were brilliant. The guy that run the workshop was a guy called Dominic. Brilliant. The guy was brilliant. They were all good. Everybody there was good. See the guys who done the guys who I would call them the sweats. They'd been there a long time. You know, talk about craftsmanship and everything like that. It was just brilliant to see them doing it, and you sort of get little tidbits of stuff from them, and I loved it. I really, really enjoyed working with them. I was offered a job that I couldn't turn down on the 2 aircraft carriers that we were building in Scotland. I just couldn't turn it down. Money was too much. I could not turn that down. It was like it was 4 times what I was earning. But with what I'm getting at is that what the basis, the foundation that the likes Lynch Trucks gave me, and then Crossland Congress gave me, certainly trucks and technology and everything has moved on dramatically since then. I mean, when I was there, we were only starting Euro 5. AdBlue was just coming out, and we were doing all the teething problems of AdBlue, and look where we are now. You know, we're you know, it's just jumped. You know, it's just jumped on so far. So I'm sort of clinging on to the coattails of it a wee bit, if I'm honest. However, I'm staying very busy, and that's my point. What I was getting at there. There's guys there who can plug in and do all the diagnostics and everything like that there. They've invested a lot of money and time and training into doing that sort of stuff. So if ever somebody was to come to me and ask me about that sort of stuff, I would refer you on to one of these guys. Some of them I've not even met, but I would refer you on to the fellas in a heartbeat. The work that I'm doing, you know, doing a lot of light bars and things like that, and I do actually feel like it's turning into an electrical fitter's job. I know there's one electrician there who's going to be laughing at that, but look, it's keeping me busy. With the London left turn systems, you know, the camera systems. Again, camera systems, I'm not a supplier of this kit, so I have to go and buy it off of somebody else. So there's guys out there who it's their core business, but I can still do it because I've actually done work for them. And you know, we're looking at the light bars on the roofs and all this sort of stuff, inverters, things like that there, lighting upgrades. You know, there's a recovery yard there up in West Belfast, and my God, the work that fella gives me, if he gets a new van in, or a new flatbed, low loader, whatever you call them, and recovery guys want 1,000 lights on them, he phones me, and it's great work. You know, it's a fitter's job, but it's keeping it tidy and making it last, hopefully. So what I'm finding recently as well with the newer trucks and all is when you're wiring in things like light bars and things like that, the technology in the trucks is moving on, and you really have to be careful how you wire them up. You'll start getting warning lights coming on dashboards and things like that. So again, I like to, and I still stand by, I like to hardwire my products onto your trucks through proper fusion and relays. It's an old school way of doing it, but it's a safe proof way. Then there's the guys who have got they've got the equipment, they've got the knowledge, and they can program them into the lighting modules, the proper brains on the trucks. And again, my thoughts are, with doing that type of work, the cost goes up. I like to try and keep my costs where I can get your business. So again, for example, today I done a wee video on inverters this morning. Now I had about, and I'm no word of a lie, done the video, went to the gym, done the advertisement, sorry, and then I went to the gym, and I've had about 7 or 8 or maybe even 9 inquiries about inverters. Can you fit an inverter on this? Can you fit an inverter on that? And that was great, but nobody's come back to me once I gave them a price. So, you know, I can be honest and put the price up on there, but they understand what the price would be for a job like that there. An inverter, a good inverter, I'm talking about a 3 kilowatt pure sine wave inverter. You go and try and buy one of those up in Belfast, you'll not get any change out of £500, and don't forget to add the VAT on. So with the way I'm getting the equipment in and the way I source the equipment, it's not only the inverter you need. That inverter needs to be powered from the battery through battery cable, thick cable. You want to see the price of this stuff. So you're talking maybe £150 plus for your cable, your black and your red cable. Then your mega fuse, then your lugs, and then your inverter. Your inverter, about 350, nearly £400 for the inverter. Then you're looking, I'm only giving myself about 125 quid for installing one of these, but we're up to about £650 to install an inverter, a good inverter. And I done a job recently for a fella, and he had a 2 kilowatt modified sine wave inverter, and he paid near 800 quid for that at a dealership to get that installed. So yes, it's expensive, but I do keep the price low to be competitive. But you must bear in mind when you see one of my social media posts on this equipment, it isn't free. My labour's not free, and the parts aren't cheap. You know, you can go and buy a 3 kilowatt inverter from flipping the far side of Asia for £120. I can tell you that I won't be fitting that, because that will be a fire hazard, and if it caught fire, it comes back to me. So just, you get what you pay for, so just bear that in mind. So just a wee bit of chat about social media, and you know, a wee bit about what I've been doing and where I've came from. Which, like I said, it's taken me a while to think about saying this here about the 2 previous employers that I had. You know, Crossland didn't really want me to go, and they'd spent a bit of time with me, get me involved in some big projects, and I decided to leave, but the money, I had to go. And unfortunately, the Lynch Trucks thing, it just wasn't working out. A bit of a clash of personalities with somebody. However, out of all the companies that I think that I've worked for in all my time, I have to say Lynch Trucks. Without them, I probably wouldn't have sat here. I really, really mean that. There were the level of work and workmanship that boy Stevie in there set was just something of, I've yet to see it. I've yet to see it. Yes, so where are we tomorrow? Tomorrow I'm out with, I done that light board the other day for Miles. If you remember, with the Volvo, with the name board with the lights in behind it. So I've installed it, and they've got in touch with me. They're happy with it, they're alright with it, but the light board isn't lighting up right around the sides. He wants the whole thing lit up. So I've thought of a different way of doing it, but I can't do it that way now. It's going to take a couple of weeks to get the parts. So I've went and got some more parts, and I'm going to make that better for him tomorrow. Hopefully he's happy with that there. I think he will be. Downside of it is I have to go back to the job. But listen, if it keeps the man happy and there may be more work in the pipeline in the future, I'll be straight back out to him. Listen, I'll be straight back out to anybody. If I've done a job for you and it's not right, I'll come back out to it. So I'm out doing that tomorrow. Hopefully I'll get a wee bit of dry weather, and we'll get that one done. Wednesday, I'm getting a start, well, not a start, I'm a company there who, caravans and motorhomes, I'm not going to give their name until they're happy with me doing that there. They're going to let me do some work for them, just see how we get on. Always nice to try and do something, new things with new companies. But like I said, if it's not right for me, I'll not be doing it. Had a couple of very, very, very bad experiences recently, and they've left me a bit burnt out, if I'm honest. I've not had a great weekend, and that's why I've not been feeling too well. But listen here, we'll reset. I'm going to drink this cup of tea. I'm going to get these quotes out. We're going to try and jump back on the train or the wagon or whatever you want to call it. Big push up to Christmas here. I'm getting very, very busy as usual. Every time this time of year, it's always very busy for me. So last little plug on the equipment that I've got in stock. London left turn DVS Durite systems. So spoke to a few customers now, and we've got these booked in. Just for yous who are not in the know, but you're thinking about getting this kit, if you can give me your wagon for about 4 or 5 hours, I could hopefully get that done for you in about 4 or 5 hours. You need to get the cab over as well. That kit can be silenced inside the cab, so you're not having that alarm going off all the time. Very good bit of kit. So we've got those in stock, and I've got another 5 sitting there waiting for me to pick up, which I got chased for today. So I can't pick them up until I fit these first 5. I don't want thousands and thousands of pounds worth of stuff sitting in the house. Alright guys, thanks for that. Just a wee video, wee bit of chat, because like I said, I'm not on a truck today to show you around it, but I will try and get some videos up that are a wee bit more interesting, stuff that I can put up on my YouTube with a wee bit of music in behind it and stuff like that there. If anybody out there is a YouTube guru and wants to give us a hand with that sort of stuff, give us a shout, because I'm struggling here. Somebody suggested I do an Instagram and TikToks, and I don't know. Alright, thanks for that guys. Happy Monday. Let's get after it the rest of the week. Come on, stay positive. Cheers.